Hello, everyone. I'm David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. Coming up on this show, a new exciting project is coming to the Arts District in downtown Las Vegas next year. And watch as Main Street lights up. With me today to discuss these topics and much more is the councilman who represents Ward 3. You know who it is. It's Mr. Bob Coffin. Welcome back.
Thank you very much,
How
David.
are you?
It's great to be back.
It's good to see you.
Not only back from a trip overnight to San Antonio, but also just to be here and feel the change as things are happening.
And that is the key word. There is so much going on in your ward, exciting things that we're going to tell everybody about. You know the ward very well, like the back of your hand, so does your staff. But in case you're not exactly sure where Ward 3 is located, we're going to show you on the map. It's that area, of course, with the big 3 on it. It's East Las Vegas,
the blue
downtown,
stuff.
right?
And there's a little bit of Ward 5 in there, which belongs to Councilman Creer. But I like to see everything east of the freeway down to Nellis in the city limits is Ward 3.
And a lot of downtown, and that's really key, because that's going to be a lot of what we're talking about today. Is a lot of the downtown is in Ward 3, and there is excitement going on in that area.
Oh, yeah.
Councilman, you just mentioned this. You just got back from Texas, San Antonio specifically. You were there really to talk about homelessness and watch what San Antonio has done. They've been very successful in reducing the number of homeless people on their streets there. We're trying to emulate it here in Las Vegas.
We're trying to copy the things that work for them. And I think will work for us. Primarily, of course, you want to have homeless off the streets. But more than that, we'd like to have them out of the neighborhoods, out of the parks, or at least in the parks to a lesser extent. Not sleeping in backyards, not being involved in people's squats, getting into houses that are unoccupied. It's not a good thing for the neighborhood, but it doesn't go away. It is still there, and I don't see it changing. Neither does San Antonio. So essentially what we're adopting is basically a place where homeless can come in, and we don't ask them religious questions. We don't ask them anything about that. We don't care if they're drunk or if they are high on drugs. We have a place for them, and it's safe. They can't consume things like that in there, but they can sleep it off in safety. And that's the main thing, is they cluster together out there, whether it's in tunnels or parks or other places, for protection. But this way, behind a gated, closed fence, they can sleep rough, but they can sleep secure, and that's a big thing.
You, Councilwoman Fiore, and Councilman Crew went to San Antonio. They call it the Haven for Hope there. It's kind of a one-stop shop. All the services that the homeless need are in this one location. It's also a place where homeless can go, just like you're saying, regardless of their sobriety, they can go there to be safe.
There they are, the three amigos. We're on the road there together, and I really am glad they came down. It's their first trip, and their eyes were really opened. This is my second trip. I was there a year and a half ago, and we have been making progress, but to the public it looks like there's no progress. They don't know what we're doing, and yet we've done an awful lot down in the location where we're putting this courtyard. Maybe the first in the community. It certainly ought not to be the last, because we cannot hold every homeless person there. But the idea is we have to get more of the members of the council bought in, and we had a lot of fun too. We were lively. Believe me, there was very little sleeping and a whole bunch of walking and talking and
checking it out.
Everything, yeah. I mean, up and down in 24 hours.
Councilman, one thing you've mentioned to me, and it's resonated, is that in San Antonio and in Phoenix, they also have a successful program there. There's a lot of involvement from not just government and the nonprofits who provide services for the homeless, but the private sector. For-profit companies are very active in helping to end homelessness in those cities.
That is right. What really got it started was a group of wealthy people who realized this was a problem in their community. And so while government has recognized this, and individuals do because they contribute to charities or social service agencies, it hasn't all been delivered in one cohesive place for the homeless. A lot of people qualify for those benefits, and they get them in other places. Here, as in San Antonio, we're going to have all the social service agencies point of contact there. Not their only point of contact, but it'll be the one, bring it to them, because transportation's impossible for people without wheels. They're hauling their stuff around. They can't move. We can by putting it in one place, but we have to make it attractive for them. So what we call the wet side or the courtyard is phase one, and that we're demolishing and we're building at the same time. And 150 people are sleeping there at night right now.
And it's not done.
Yeah, I slept there for a few hours just to see how it is, and it's safe. Those mattresses are comfortable. You fall right asleep. So it's, in essence, everybody can fall asleep on cement and asphalt. If you're living on the streets, you can do that. But when you've got a mattress to sleep on, now you're in heaven.
Yeah, and we also have bathroom, showers there, everything.
But that's all there is,
Yeah.
just some shelter in case we get rain. But they have portable blowing units of AC and or swamp coolers.
Right.
So, but believe me, the topic is going to be on our lips for a long time, because homelessness is not going away. And right in the middle of all that, they're nearly all mentally ill in some fashion, or they've had some trauma. And so consequently, they don't think clearly all the time.
Right.
And there you've got some thieves, you've got some petty thieves, petty criminals. We have to weed them out, but we also have to service their needs too, because they're sick too. It's a mess. And right now it's being handled in such a way, it's very bad. People feeding homeless in places they should not be feeding. We hope that people who give food to groups that feed, or feeders themselves, will realize it really belongs in one place.
Right, exactly. Clothing as well. It draws people away from the services. Sometimes they get into fights over the material that people are giving out, whether it's food or whether it's
And there are going to be lots of marshals as well as Metro. They're already there. We've got
and Councilman, we
5
also see
full-time.
this too with the hot weather in Las Vegas. Sometimes the food spoils when people bring it out. It doesn't get eaten quick enough, and we've got issues with that as well. So
Yeah, we have a few months before the cold weather comes in, and maybe we'll have another warm winter, but in any event, we have to be prepared for another few hundred to come in there.
Absolutely.
So that at least we can offer shelter, and anybody that's in there is not in your backyard.
Right. Well, more to come on all that. It's something we're working on very hard. As Councilman said, you may not be aware of all the things that the city is doing, but we're working very hard on this. Shifting gears a little bit, we talked about all the excitement in downtown. This is amazing stuff. You tweeted this out on Twitter. You said, the Treehouse restaurant and venue with Aussie inspiration and food will open on Main in the Arts District in March 2019. Folks, you got to check this out. This was the groundbreaking for this project, and wait till you see what this is going to be when it's all said and done. It's really cool.
It's a restaurant, but it's more than that. It's also going to be a very nice little resorty place. The food is an attraction because it's Aussie themed, and people sometimes. That's Craig Misson right there, and Mrs. Misson. Ryan Allard, the architect, is right there by the board, I think. And so we really have, and there's Mayor, what I call Mayor of 18B, Derek Stonebarger.
Derek Stonebarger. There's Derek right there.
As the MC, John Pacheco, an old-time artist from Las Vegas, going way back. So everybody's interested in this. The food will be from down under, and some exotic seafood, stuff that crawls, stuff that swims. This, believe it or not, folks, if you're an older person like me, you don't remember Main Street like it used to be. And you shouldn't, because it was a mess. And we had an oil plant down there, just 50 feet from this treehouse location. 50 feet.
Not anymore.
In 1951,
Yes.
my family opened an oil plant there for stove oil for people who heated their homes with oil heat, and stuff for gas stations and garages. Well, I mean, it's a mess, but guess what? Now it's becoming new. It's the 21st century.
It is.
We're forgetting the past. We're moving right over the old. And just in time, too.
Yeah, located 1022 South Main, if you're trying to figure out where that is.
I won't be able to find it by the number. I think it's just one of those things on South Main. I think people are just going to have to get used to where they are by going there.
Check it out. Again, Councilman, you're on a roll. All kinds of new things. Of course, there's the Treehouse coming. You also had a grand opening for the C3 Lofts. This is an apartment complex. Very nice. This is also near 3rd and Charleston. And check it out here. This is really cool. This is on September 11th that you guys went out and...
It's going to be open really, really quick. There's Mayor Stonebarger again, along with some of our staff. The idea is that we're really excited about this because it's just like 50 or 60 units, 3 buildings. But the buildings are new residences, and they're going to be moderately priced. They're not. That was Brock Metzger, by the way, the believe it or not, the ramrod of all this, along with Edward Holmes. And this means nice places to stay downtown for people who come in and out real quick for business or want to be long-term renters, either way. So it has all the amenities, the usual stuff.
That's nice. It looks like very nice
the
units,
granite, the
yeah.
microwave, and studios are up to 2-bedroom.
Nice.
But anyway, we're very proud of anybody that's going to invest. And that investment group is the same group that's putting together the Treehouse.
There's a
Brock
connection.
and his team
Yeah.
are heavily invested in the area of downtown, particularly around the 18B.
What's nice. That is such a wonderful addition. So the C3 Lofts officially open now. And then, Councilman, you've got the Fremont 9 apartments. Also, you had a grand opening for that. That took place here just this past week. Tell us about the Fremont 9 apartments. Now, is the same company involved in them?
No.
No, it's a different one.
No,
Good.
it is different. That's good. The diversity of investment is really increasing. It's really spreading around. I know people used to think about Tony Hsieh as being the only big investor, but there's a lot of people that are investing a lot of money in downtown. I think he was the icebreaker. And what's happened is others have seen, even through the lens looking backwards at the recession, nearly a depression, that this is a place that needs beds, that has places that they can work.
Wow.
A lot of people aren't going to want to drive a car. We even do not require the same code requirements for the number of parking spaces for some of these living places, because it's not out in the suburbs. It's downtown where a lot of people walk.
People are going to walk.
They ride bikes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a return to the old culture. Yeah. Now, and we're hoping that that's how it continues.
You must be pinching yourself because there is so much going on downtown, especially that main commerce Charleston area that Arts District area is just flourishing again. It's great.
Yeah. So those two main points of downtown, which I think are going to get more competitive as years go along, they're already competitive, is the East Fremont entertainment area. I'm not dismissing Fremont East. That's something that's casino oriented and other things. But here you got East Fremont, a few blocks of bars, eating places, really, really good kind of atmospherics. And then you've got 18B, which is now at this moment surpassing East Fremont. So a challenge is out to East Fremont.
Yeah, that whole area. I mean, that whole area of downtown East Fremont, the Arts District. It's great stuff, Councilman.
That's why we're taking and spreading the footprint of East Fremont down to Maryland Parkway.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
That's going to then become Explosion too.
Yeah. Well, and then I know we talked about Main Street and the Commerce corridor, Main Street and Commerce. That road project that seemed to be going on forever and ever is finally done, and we had a wonderful grand opening for that whole evening. I had two big events that night. This was back on September 6th, Thursday, September 6th. Dedicated a new piece of public art right at the fork of Main Street and Commerce called Radial Symmetry.
Okay, I hope that stays up for a minute. Think Slinky. Think Louis Varela Rica probably never had a Slinky in his life, but he has taken steel and he's molded it into something that evokes Indian basketry, because that was what was in his mind.
That's what
He's
inspired
born and
him,
raised
right.
here, and he recognizes that as really part of our culture. The Native American culture touches us everywhere. We just don't know it sometimes, and consequently, he was chosen.
That's our artist right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, I have to say, we think budgets, but the point is that it belongs there. So that's where the intersection of Main and Commerce start, right near the El Sombrero restaurant, which I always like to insert in free advertising for them, since they were hurt badly by the road construction.
A lot of construction there. Yeah. We worked on that project. It seemed like it went on forever, Councilman. But Main and Commerce, if you've not been along those corridors, they're one way each direction now. Beautiful. And the shops and restaurants that have opened along there, despite the construction, they're really nice.
It's more than, as you know, it's more than just a road.
Yeah.
I mean, now the sidewalks are really wide. We have trees, lots of trees planted. And we're really infecting the whole area with the kind of thing that makes it a walkable city. Realize that some people are just not used to that, summertime and so on. But in fact, when you've got a lot of trees, you can cover a lot of ground.
I heard people talking about this that night. It's got a good vibe down here, right? This place has got a good vibe, good feel. And so about an hour after we unveiled Radial Symmetry, we moved a little bit south along Main Street. We posted this, the city posted this on Facebook. Main Street will light up on Thursday, September 6th, and you're invited. We had a sidewalk party to celebrate the end of this big road construction project.
The mayor and I took our road show down about 8 blocks south, just south of Charleston. There she is. She was excited. She doesn't stop. It's hard to keep up with her. And I always like to follow her because she works harder than me. But the point is that here was a switch to turn on the lights, as you see.
Boom. There they are.
And the thing is, it's just one nice thing about the new downtown, is that we're adding light. Sometimes, in other words, you won't even need your headlights if you're driving down as we move this. And we're going to make this hopefully programmably colored lights in order that they be
nice.
For festivals, special occasions, holidays. There you have it. It's still two-lane road.
I know. And Councilman, you said this is something very, very spot on. This was not a First Friday, everybody. This was just a Thursday night along Main Commerce. And granted, it was a nice celebration, but it's like that all the time now down there. It's really cool.
Yeah, and of course, as the weather is moderating now, you're going to find more people out there. Let's face it, when it's 105 at 8 o'clock at night, it's hard to get people revved up. But they're there now. And so many more people are living very close. They don't even have to drive there.
Yeah, it's great. So you've got the Main Street Commerce Quarters all fixed up, looking great, all that activity. East Fremont looking really great, all kinds of activity out there too. Project Enchilada and all those things happening. So yeah, Councilman Coffin, congratulations.
Well,
that's
thank
good
you very
stuff.
much. Thanks to the city. It's a city. And downtown has everybody. It's not just Ward 3, not just me. It's every council member who has bought in.
Absolutely.
And the management of the city recognizes. I mean, it started
But there have been some
20,
cheerleaders
25
for
years
this
ago with the
project,
rebirth of downtown with Mayor Jan Jones and then Oscar Goodman really kicking into high gear, taking risks, and pushing the city into areas where it was unsure.
Yeah.
And not everything hit a home run.
No,
By golly.
and we were ridiculed
So much
a lot
did.
initially.
And now Mayor Carolyn Goodman continuing this thing going. The ball is rolling. And
You
we
are
don't
too.
want it to stop.
You are too, and it's paying off finally. We're seeing some great results. Again, folks, if you haven't been down there in a while, there's a lot of great places to see, eat, shop. It's really coming to life again. So good stuff. Councilman, speaking of bringing things to life, Reinvent Schools. This is a project near and dear to the city. You guys had a big event August 10th out at Texas Station. Tell everybody about Reinvent Schools and what the city, our strategy with the mayor, Councilwoman Tarkanian, the others on the council, what you're trying to accomplish with this program and other things that we're doing.
Every few years, well, every year now, but we're adding a school or two to the program. So it's in conjunction with the school district, but the mayor's push to have the city interested in education. It's not our charter, but we can really fill some gaps. Lisa Morris-Hibbler right there at the lectern. She's in charge of this, and other people who work with her in community services. I would say that what we're doing is not known to the general public, but it's sure known to a lot of school kids. There's Jose Munoz, who was our guest speaker, quite a lively guy. He got everybody up and talking and making, getting them excited and exercising at the same time they were sitting there. So it wasn't like everything was listen, listen, listen. So we're talking about improving the schools that are in the areas that are economically depressed, perhaps academically depressed, and we're helping attract new teachers, new students. They need new teachers. It's a burnout. That may be the hardest job in the world is teaching young people. And so this is one of the rewards. We bring them together. We talk about the new things, and we now have about 11 schools in there, and primarily wards 1, 3, and 5, which is your older part of town.
I want to tell everybody, Councilman, the city is not trying to do the school district's job for the school district. What we're trying to do is just supplement, like the Councilman said, fill gaps before school, after school, doing things that we can do as a city to help further education here, to help the kids, but not take over from what the school district's
Well, we have a very popular after-school and before-school program.
Absolutely.
In a lot of the schools where the city is breaking even, if not making a little money on the cost of supporting it. And so that adds to the ability for a parent to not have to rush and figure out what to do with their child at 3 o'clock or 2:30. And it's very reasonably priced. And so I think what's happened there is we're getting our feet wet in education without trying to splash all over the school district's mission.
Great point. So Reinvent Schools is one of those components. So congratulations to all involved in that. And Councilman, I know all I have to do to get people excited is talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. The city, we posted this on Facebook. It's September, and that means hockey is back. Are you ready? Yeah, this community is ready for more hockey. We had a big fan appreciation event downtown. The downtown casinos, especially Derek Stevens and his company, really have embraced the Knights and are huge supporters, providing a lot of fan experience as well, not just everything out at the T-Mobile.
Getting a professional hockey team is much bigger than I thought it would be. It never has occurred to my mind. I always thought Major League Soccer would be perfect fit for us, number one, but we had a big fight on that, and that was just, not so good. But then along came the Knights, owned by a private investor who did not ask for public money. But the public is supporting. I think we could give them millions if they ask for it, but we were not. And the point is that the town has adopted VGK. We're in a situation where they came along at the right time. Our town was so suffering from the disaster of 1 October, as we still are. But along came the Vegas Golden Knights, who turned into a winning hockey team.
Made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Made it to the playoffs, made it to the division championships, made it to the Stanley Cup. Well, that's unheard of. It's the first time I think it's ever happened for a rookie team. So consequently now they've finished their contract negotiations. We have pretty much the same team back, especially some of the fan favorites. And they've been in practice a lot, and people are, they're crowding the practice again, watching and watching, amazing. And of course buying all kinds of tchotchkes, everything that has VGK on it. I really am looking forward to October.
And your ward is involved too, because a lot of great stuff going on downtown. The Downtown Event Center has played host to viewing parties and everything else. Fremont Street Experience as well. So downtown is as much a part of this.
Derek Stevens created this and literally tore down a city block. This is where the courthouse used to be. And instead of putting up a brand new skyscraper, what does he do? He leaves it open, creates an open air venue with the latest in electronics and stagecraft, lighting, and the ability to hold all kinds of festival things, as well as performances.
Concerts, viewing
at any
parties,
time of the day or
movies,
night. And who would have thought that also becomes a magnet for downtown.
Well, it's exciting, and hockey season is right around the corner. It is here. So here we go again, everybody. Go Knights, go. And then, Councilman, I want to tell everybody you've got some events. You had this is a great event. This took place on August 24th. This was a summit that took place here at City Hall. What
this does, Latino Summit, is help people in the Latino community understand that they can be involved in the government of the city, that they have the ability to get on boards and commissions. All you have to do is apply, and we're going to find something for them. But we don't know who wants to be on it if citizens don't apply, and this applies to everybody in town. It's just that the Latino community has kind of been left behind in all of that. And so we want them to be very active, and they are. They're even running for office. I mean, this is a whole awakening going on. But mainly, the point is that if you get into a city, there are needs, real needs for manpower to be on boards and commissions where they do a job of governing. And of course, most of what they do is ratified by the council. Sometimes they're just operating on their own under supervision of the city manager's office. All of that works. And it helps frankly, take the load off the council.
Sure.
And we need it.
And we've always said that the best community is one where everyone's engaged in some way, shape, or form. So that's the idea here, is to get all aspects of the community, all the different groups in the community taking part and being a part of
and everybody
what we're trying to accomplish here, and weighing in, giving us their opinion on how things should be.
People are always told, well, you should get into office, Dave, or you should get into office, Bob. You could do good. And yet, or a person dreams, I could do this better. Really, the place to start to learn if you can do what you think you can do is to get into volunteering for our boards and commissions. Actually, some of them pay a stipend.
Great point.
Very small amount of money for events. But doing that, getting you noticed, getting you familiar with how government works is the biggest step.
You'll know if it's your cup of tea or not. If it's something for you or not, you'll know. But this is a great way to find out, as Councilman said. So
that's right. We want new blood, new talent.
Exactly.
We've got to have them.
So stay tuned. Get involved. And more of those summits, I'm sure we'll be having those in the future. And then, Councilman, this is the event here. You got an event coming up September 29th, the Binational Health Event. This is the one at the East Las Vegas Community Center. This is on Saturday the 29th from 9 to 1. Tell everybody about this.
Well, this will be the 6th year that Ward 3 has co-sponsored this event with the Mexican Consulate. And they are a very active group with their offices in downtown Las Vegas in Ward 3. So if you're bilingual or monolingual, if you're learning English, it's a good place to come and be health screened for anything and everything, whether it's an STD of some kind or HIV or hepatitis C, all the things. We're going to be giving away free flu shots. That's where everybody needs to be alarmed. On this recent flight I heard about half a dozen people coughing. That's not good. It means the season may be here early.
Sure.
So we want people to get flu shots. They can come there and get them for free.
Yeah, the whole event is free, folks. So again, that's going to be on September 29th, East Las Vegas Community Center. Take advantage from
Which is, of course, Eastern and Stewart.
Right, 9 to 1 that day. Very good.
Yeah.
And Councilman, you have a movie in the park coming up October 20th. Weather will be perfect. This is going to be Despicable Me 3, and again, free.
You know, you can't forget the first two. The characters are just obviously it's all animated, but it is. You got the white hats and the black hats, the good and the bad.
Right.
You got a little bit of everything and a lot of humor. Kids love it. Adults love it. I sat through the number 2 just a few months ago, it seems like, and already this was released and this summer, early summer, and now it's out for all of us.
We're showing it for free. Yeah,
absolutely free.
It's going to be at Levitt J.C. Park on the 20th of October in the evening. It does,
folks. So that's off Sahara, between Sahara and St. Louis, and Eastern. If you have those 3 streets in mind, you're at that park, and you'll see what's happening there. You'll see the screen, you'll see the truck.
Yeah.
Come on out, it's free, and we'll have the usual popcorn and
all the stuff,
water, and there'll probably be a food truck or two. You know, we can. I guarantee there'll be some food there. So in essence, it's worth the trip, and it's free.
Yeah,
so
good stuff.
Can't say any better.
All right, Councilman, you have one other event coming up. This is Wake Up as One Nation. This is going to be on November 3rd. This is going to be at Gary Reese Freedom Park. It's a little bit farther to the north than the other event, but this will be Saturday, November 3rd from noon to 4. Tell everybody about this event.
Waking Up as One Nation is a brainchild of some folks that Rosemary Flores works with, and that is that regardless of your racial or religious identity, when we get up in the morning, we're all the same.
Yeah, we're all Americans.
And on that day, we try to play this game. We try to become as one, and yet different people surviving in this culture, so that we know everybody is welcome, at least in good times. There have been some times lately you've kind of wondered who was welcome. But let's just say in Las Vegas, everyone is welcome. And so that day, Rosemary Flores leads the Ambassadors for Peace, and there'll be vendors there. There'll be music, plenty of music.
Yep.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. I just encourage people. November 3rd is a good day. It's going to have a lot of good weather. It's the weekend before the election. Everybody will be revved up about all of the politics. And there you come to something where people aren't going to fight about something.
Yeah, it's going to be celebrate our unity rather than our, divisiveness.
Yes, correct.
Sounds good. So coming up November 3rd, you're right, November is usually the first part of November, gorgeous weather, so it should be a great event. Well, Councilman, we are about out of time. The show always goes fast. So hey, we want to tell you, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilman Coffin, you can always find him on Facebook and Twitter. You saw he was really active. And if you leave a comment, we could use your post on our next show. Love to hear from you. You can also contact the councilman at 702-229-4623 or send him an email. His address is lvcouncilman@hotmail.com, and that goes directly to the councilman.
And please send me emails, folks, because that's how I can forward a complaint or a report, unless it's urgent, in which case you need to call proper numbers like 911 and 311. But please send me an email, lvcouncilman@hotmail.com, because that way I can forward it to another agency or our staff or something.
And we get on
the
it right
offices
away.
are closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We work 10, 11-hour days, Monday through Thursday. So the idea is that this way, we're all working all the time.
Exactly. And if you got something going on, let us know.
Yeah.
All right, Councilman, great job. We'll see you back here in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 3. In the meantime, we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning September 27th with Ward 4 City Councilman Stavros Anthony. Don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. We'll see you next time right here on KCLV, where we bring city government closer to you. Thanks for watching, everyone.